that no other candidate could even think about winning. We're going to win. So what the Republican leadership should do is try and unify things. Instead of fighting it, get used to it. This is the most incredible phenomena that they've ever seen in politics in this country. Embrace it. Embrace it. And let's go win.
One of the things that we've talked about before, I think you can tell a lot about somebody who runs for public office by their family. And I've gotten to know Donald's family. His sister, who's an outstanding federal court judge, but I think you tell a lot about somebody, and the thing I'm proudest of in my life are my 4 children. And you look at Donald's family, and I want to give you an opportunity, because you don't do this enough, I think, to talk about Melania and your children and what kind of father you've been, how proud you are of your children. Because I think that tells a lot about what kind of person you are, by how you treat your children, how they're raised, and what kind of home you run. And I'd love to have you talk about
Well, thank you, Chris. It's an honor to talk about him. I have a wonderful wife, Melania, who many of you know. I have wonderful children. I have 5 children. And, you know, a lot of friends, my children are doing very well. Ivanka and Don and Eric and Barron and Tiffany. And they're doing well. And a lot of times a friend will come up and say, do you mind seeing my child? My child's got a problem or whatever. And I talk, you know, I'll see the child and they'll have a drug problem or a drinking problem or whatever problem they may have. And, you know, it's interesting. When I won New Hampshire, Chris, the people would tell me in New Hampshire the biggest problem they have is a problem with heroin. And you don't see it in New Hampshire. You know, the beautiful roads and the beautiful trees. And yet every time they'd say, you know, that you'd think they'd be talking about like some economic thing, which was a problem. But the first thing was always heroin. And they're tremendously, they have a huge problem with heroin. And I said, and they treated me so good. That was my first win, New Hampshire. And I said, if I get in, I'm going to pay back. Because I said drugs. Drugs is just hurting them so badly. They have so many young kids, and some others too, but the young people are just being addicted, terribly addicted to drugs. We're going to stop those drugs from coming in. Many of them come from the southern border. You have the same problem. And our whole country has the same problem. And the easy way to solve the problem is don't give people access, because if they don't start, they're never going to have a problem. It's like, I don't drink. I don't have any longing to drink or smoke because I never started. If I did start, I'd probably love drinking and I'd love smoking, you know. So the easiest way is not to start. Well, we're going to cut it off. We're going to absolutely cut that off. But I say to friends, I say, and I used to when my kids were growing up, no drugs, no alcohol. You just can't have it. No drugs, no alcohol. And I see so often, and it's so important, I see so often these brilliant people, they have brilliant kids, they're smart, they go to the best schools, but they start with the drinking and they become alcoholic. And they start with the drinking or they start with the drugs and they cannot get off it. They can't wean themselves off it. They work so hard to do it and they can't. And I say to people, just no drugs, no alcohol. You don't have it. And I add cigarettes when I can. But so